year in a row, the Dell XPS 13 is still our absolute favorite laptop. Seeing as it still looks the same as it did in years prior, you may be wondering what's different about the 2017 version of the Dell XPS 13, the company's flagship ultrabook that we've still yet to fall out of love with all these years later. As we anticipated, the cost of the Dell XPS 13 hasn't changed. The starting configuration retails at $799 in the US, and it doesn't appear to be any different than last year. You're still getting a 7th generation Intel Core i3-7100U, 4GB of RAM and the 128GB solid-state drive, SSD, and a Full HD Infinity Edge screen. The only models whose specs have changed are those that are higher tier. Because Intel's 8th generation processors for laptops only exist in a luxuriously high-speed vacuum, you can max out your Dell XPS 13 with an Intel Core i7-8550U, 16GB of RAM and 256GB of SSD storage for $1,749. The configuration we've tested here costs $1,299. £1,268.99 or $2,299 Australian dollars. The Dell XPS 13 is no thinner or lighter than before, at 2.9 pounds, 1.29 kilograms, for the glossy, QHD Plus touchscreen model or 2.7 pounds, 1.2 kilograms, for the matte, FHD screen version and at 0.6 inches, 15mm, thick in either configuration. This time around, we've had the opportunity to test the FHD, or 1920 by 1080 resolution, version of the Dell XPS 13 Infinity Edge display. While QHD Plus is a pleasure to work with, we find the FHD option to be just fine for what most folks will use the laptop for. The Core i7 CPU performs better in graphical applications, like rendering video and even 3D elements, as it is in multitasking and web browsing. That said, the most marked improvement we've seen in the XPS 13 from the 2016 model to this year's is the device's lasting power. The laptop lasted a whole hour and 22 minutes longer through the grueling PC Mark 8 battery life test, and a whopping 3 hours and 16 minutes longer through our own local video playback test.